Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurating the much touted sea link, which is also called the Atal Setu. And the discussion that I want to have revolving around this mega structure that has been constructed and now completed to be used by commuters in Mumbai to reach their destinations from Navi Mumbai to South Mumbai and vice versa in less than 20 minutes, when it used to initially take 2 long hours. The discussion about Vikasit guarantee, where at a point of time when these mega structures in our country used to be inaugurated, used to be completed, it used to be a massive deal to gradually us moving to a situation where such infrastructure, such development is seen as a routine thing. And while there is going to be a number of investment deals that are going to be cut, there are going to be real estate deals that are going to skyrocket along the route of the sea link. There is going to be an airport that is going to be built, which is going to be state of art in Navi Mumbai. This is a massive connectivity project, and how this makes Mumbai, the maximum city, grow at a much faster pace as truly a global business hub for the world investors and everybody else that looks India and is expecting huge things from it, from a 5th largest economy reaching the $5 trillion GDP mark, and then finally with its aim to become the top 3 economies of the world. That's the milestone that we have set for ourselves. That's the ambition that we have set for ourselves, and we are closely inching towards that destination. Joining me on the telecast right now is Professor Madhav Nalapat. And quickly a response from you, Professor Nalapat, about the significance on a larger scale. It's one that this corridor, this bridge that has been created, it is now functional for the people, for the commuters of Mumbai. But on the other end of the spectrum, the larger picture and the message that gives out to the country, to the Mumbaikars and to the world. Okay, Dikshu Kukureja also on the telecast. So, Dikshu, the same question to you.
Well, I think it sends out a tremendous message, not just to the citizens of this country, but I would say to the world over, that India today means business. India today means making reality to its commitment, to the promises that we make to the people. Now, this is a staggering achievement, I would say, that, the kind of infrastructure we are creating today, and I'm referring to the Atal Setu bridge that has been inaugurated by the Honorable Prime Minister today, that, within a period of 7 years, to create the 12th longest bridge in the world, the longest bridge in India ever built. And it just as an architect, I can say that, the amount of steel that has been used in this building is equivalent to the weight of 500 Boeing aircraft. Now, or 17 times the weight of Eiffel Tower. Now, these are staggering numbers to see that you build a bridge not on land, but we all understand how much more complicated the construction is when you are doing it over sea. So these kind of construction projects, infrastructure projects that are coming up in the country, I think are a very welcome move, which was very longly needed in the country. If we are trying to become a fast developing nation, and from the 5th largest economy soon to be now a 3rd largest economy, obviously the infrastructure needs to be in place. Right. In earlier years, we have seen that it has always been a catch-up situation where, the infrastructure needs of a city have been woefully inadequate. A city like Mumbai, which is the financial capital of the country, I know citizens of that city used to always complain that their infrastructure, we had heard things about Mumbai becoming Shanghai, like Shanghai, many years ago. But today, at least, we are seeing the reality of world-class infrastructure coming to the city. So I think it's very heartening for all of us.
Dikshu, when you talk about the specifics, when we say that there is going to be a Navi Mumbai International Airport that is going to be set up, and like we talk about the 20-minute travel time between Mumbai and Navi Mumbai, there are going to be a number of other infrastructure projects that are going to be set up. The economy will completely boom, the real estate sector will completely boom. And at one point of time, we used to be clogged. In fact, even today, Mumbai is clogged. People at this point of time fear the traffic. They would rather take the locals. But the locals are also so overcrowded. So it's a boon for maximum city. And also, there are large percentage of businesses, investors, FIIs, FDIs that pour into Mumbai, the business capital of the country. And when they take a look at the infrastructure, it's dismal. And in fact, there have been movies that have been made. We talk about, the slum city of the world, which is again Mumbai, which is termed at, these are bad examples that Mumbai has been promoted by the documentary makers, by the international media. So do you think this transformation has finally been initiated with this Ram Setu, or the bridge that has been built?
No, absolutely. And I must point out here that, there are two things that go around in the world and in the world of business. One is the reality, which are hard facts about the dramatic cutting down of travel time and the increased business, etc., that can happen, the linkage between the Mumbai port and the Jawaharlal Nehru port through this Atal Setu bridge, the proximity to a big international airport, which is coming up and will also probably be inaugurated this year itself, the Navi Mumbai airport, and many, many other aspects. So these are real facts and the real need of the city. But even another important aspect, Megha, we should remember is the perception. The perception is equally important, and I think that message which the world is seeing today is hugely important for India. When they see the financial capital of this large country which is transforming itself, which is becoming a developed nation, they see that, we mean business. We are not here talking about attracting investment and not having the infrastructure to serve or service that investment. We are now reached a point which is something I used to always wish for and talk about, that let's lay the infrastructure first and the money and the investment will follow. And that's precisely what is happening now in our country. And I think that's a very welcome move if we want to really progress from the economic side. I have done and been involved in projects around the world, and I used to see that in most countries, whether it is Singapore, Japan, or the West, that they used to set the infrastructure first and automatically then the investments used to follow. Today we are following that same successful model, and I feel very heartened to see that this kind of development is happening in the country with the scale of the projects that is coming is unparalleled.
Absolutely.
It is called the Atal Setu Bridge. I think you just mentioned it as Ram Setu, and that conjures images.
Sorry, beg your pardon. Yes.
No problem. I am the urban planner of this, involved with the city of Ayodhya. So of course that is another subject of discussion in itself, a marvel that is in the making.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Quickly getting in. Also on the telecast with me is Gautam Mukherjee. Gautam, understanding of the fact that this is a massive achievement for our country. And there was a point of time when the world would watch and envy these infrastructure projects, the longest bridges, the best of the roads, the fastest of the trains, whether it was in France or happening in Europe. And then the momentum shifted to the Southeast Asian countries with China and Japan. And if we take a look in comparison to their growth trajectory, which was at a really high speed and a large percentage, is what India is mimicking as well decades after. So when we talk about the largest economy with the highest percentage of the GDP, highest growth rate, was something that was also witnessed by Japan and China some decades ago. So do you think this is also a natural progression for an economy with the large population that we have, and also the largest young population that we have?
The population has a big advantage over the next 2 or 3 decades because we will still be under 35 for 65% of it. And after that, gradually, the Indians will start aging, because most people will be 50 plus. But the key driver is pent-up demand. This was thought of in 1962. It was implemented over the last 7 years. 7 years, the same person who laid the foundation stone has inaugurated it today. Now that is unusual. In India, foundation stones merge with the countryside by the time it is built, if it is built at all. This was the way it used to happen. Compared to that, implementation has improved a great deal. There's a tunnel going to be built to further facilitate, movement from South Bombay onwards. This, Mumbai is long and thin, 40 kilometers long, 7 kilometers wide. And for years, it's been bursting at the seams. Now, to have proper connectivity with Navi Mumbai is a process of spilling over. There are 23 million people in Mumbai. Now, the kind of infrastructure that has been developing for some years in Navi Mumbai, including the airport, which is coming up now, will become fairly seamless. Instead of being an outwater, a backward area and so on, Raigad district will become part of, if you like, greater Mumbai in a similar way to the NCR in Delhi, which is also being modernized, developed, and connected with the the high-speed rail. In Mumbai, the metro is another decongestant. It is on and on, but it's been a long time coming, and the fact that it is happening now, both the metros and the various roads, the connectivity to further afield, to Pune, to Goa, and so on, is remarkable, and about time too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Quickly getting in Abhijit Sinha, who's an infrastructure who's an infrastructure expert as well. Now, Abhijit, in a situation such as this, that India is speeding up its infrastructure development projects, and I was raising the same point at the start of the discussion as well, that while we at this point of time are celebrating and we look at it as such a wow thing, we are astonished, and we are like, oh, such a thing could not have happened in India some years ago, but it's happening now. This is soon going to become, normal. When we had the Gati-Shakti projects, when we had the Vande Bharats that were announced, when we had the RRTS announced, it used to be a novelty for Indians, and now they're just, a normal course of events that happen every time there is an inauguration of a Vande Bharat happening, or a highway that is constructed, or an expressway that is constructed.
So, very good afternoon to audiences and to you also. I believe this particular project has been long awaiting, and it is a moment of pride for all of us that it is coming up now. And if you relate it with the infrastructure and the volume of infrastructure which is under construction, which has been delivered as of now into last 10 years, and which is yet to be delivered, then you can divide those 3 tenures into 3 different parts. The first part of our 5-year work which has happened is to bring that speed, that intelligence, or that kind of reform which was required to actually run these type of projects. The financial structure of infrastructure companies, also the procurement processes, the way we award contracts, the way we do land acquisition. So first 5 years has been spent on that. Second 5 years is, we can say, first 5 years for the reform, and second 5 years to perform. Once you perform, then definitely the third 5-year tenure will be transformation. So I'm reasonably sure that what we can see right now is coming out after this strong, large Sagar Manthan is only reform part and perform part. The transformation of majority of project which is going to be delivered are going to come into the next tenure. So what if it is coming right now, it is good. If it is seen positive, I'm glad that lot more, even only 10% is coming out, rest 90% is yet to come. So by 2047, by 2030, and by 2029 also, If you ask me to outline the part and the infrastructure, then you have Jojila Tunnel, you have Atal Tunnel is now coming out, then you have PM Gati-Shakti, you have 5,500-kilometer electric highways, you also have the electric corridor coming in up, and you have expressways, green corridor. So all this project which will be coming up next will create at least a dent, at least a reduction of our logistic cost from 2 digit to 1 digit. And 1 digit logistic cost means a lot of money saved, which is right now being spent from our GDP just to make possible that our products which we are manufacturing is reaching in a cost to the shipment or the shipyard from where it has to be exported. And that going big impact.
Okay, all right. Dikshu, again coming to you. Now, what are the byproducts of these massive infrastructure projects? We talk about jobs, we talk about real estate, we talk about businesses that are going to be set up, they've got about employment. So these are important factors, and also the points of contention for a number of opposition political parties that are targeting the government.
Any reasonable point, if you can give me for...
Sorry, this is for Dikshu. Okay, I don't have Dikshu, but quickly, sorry, I also have Major Rajan Kochar. Sir, if you could respond to this.
Yeah, I think I'm the military man among all experts here in this discussion today. But it's, I can actually give you my own perspective about the whole thing without getting into the technical details. A major issue in our country has been the supply chain. And we have observed that in the COVID times also, where unfortunately the infrastructure of the national highway authorities was not there, and it took huge costs. It actually adds to the cost of transportation of material. And here in this instant case, when we talk about this project, and when we talk about Navi Mumbai and connectivity with Mumbai, because you know I've been actually posted here, so I have traveled across. It takes a very large amount of time, and here the connectivity is going to be 20 minutes only. Second aspect is Mumbai is bursting on its seams right now. There is no property or land available in Mumbai, and it's quite unaffordable. So the people of Navi Mumbai, it is actually a great present to them by Prime Minister Modi, because now this sort of connectivity, they can work in Mumbai, they can stay in Navi Mumbai, and that travel has become all the more easier and less congested. The next important aspect is, what does it mean to India as a country? The projection of our own country, our own image, when we used to go to countries where the infrastructure used to be so good, if you go to Singapore, if you go to Dubai, you find these kind of projects are already there and they don't take so much of time to construct. Biggest USP here has been that this project has been constructed in a record time, and it will be made available to the user now, and the impact it will have on the image of the country, in the sense that when we talk about foreign direct investment, we dealing in the defense sector also, we are looking forward to industries coming and setting up actually bases here. And when your own financial capital will be strengthened by such projects, it will also percolate to other parts of the country today. Where a similar kind of projects, where the foreign direct investment will also come into play. The MNCs will actually come into our country, where already this process has started. It is going to augment the Make in India and Atmanirbhar Bharat campaigns also, let me tell you, because when you find the infrastructure is good, the connectivity is good. I'll give you a small example of a place like Greater Noida, where I'm staying today. I've seen a sea change here in the last 5 years because of the amount of infrastructure, the roads, the expressways coming up, and that is why the industry is coming here today. So it's a landmark. I'd say that I will actually call it horses for the courses.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely. Yeah.
kind of policy.
I'll come back to you, Gautam. And I was just recently traveling on this newly opened Jaipur-Delhi Expressway, which is actually the part of the longer project, which is the Delhi-Mumbai Expressway. It's also sort of flummoxing and interesting to note that there are hardly any vehicles that are traveling on that expressway. It has been launched. It's been quite a few months now. It was launched in 2023, early 2023. But when it comes to more and more people plying on that expressway, is at this point of time, why do you feel that these newly constructed infrastructure projects, particularly these expressways and corridors and highways and the sea links, see reduced traffic at this point? Because when we take a parallel look at the old Jaipur-Delhi highway, it's chock-a-block with people, with a number of traffic jams, and it takes you, I think it takes you about 5 to 6 hours just to reach Jaipur, while the parallel faster expressway takes you to Jaipur in about 2.5 to 3 hours.
Well, I think initially there's a little hesitation on the tolls. Now to go from Sona to Dausa costs about 265 rupees in tolls. This is not everybody's cup of tea, though when I did this in early December, I found a lot of trucks, because the truck companies, the owners must be thinking this is worth it in terms of wear and tear and fuel savings. So I saw a lot of trucks on the road, quite a few cars, but not as many as you would expect. I'm not complaining. It allows you to whiz along.
Yeah.
But in due course, people are going to get used to this. They're going to calculate their returns in a different way, because, here again, on the Atal Setu, I believe it's going to be 250 rupees to go these 20 kilometers, 22 kilometers. So initially there's some degree of hesitation among some. But when you save that time, not just the time, but the money in fuel costs, it's going to slowly percolate that this is the future now. You've also, while we're talking about all these roads, Megha, I'd like to make mention of the ports and the airports, which have also gone up dramatically alongside the railways. There is going to be a light railway going to Navi Mumbai as well, because not everybody is going to drive. So all inclusive, these are new developments. They will not perhaps remain as costly once the numbers increase on these roads and the tolls become more affordable.
Okay.
But even as it is, our tolls in India are a fraction of what they are abroad, because our sheer numbers, even at a reduced amount, are considerable.
Absolutely agree on that point. Abhijit, then when you talk about specifics, and Gautam spoke about how there is going to be a railway line that is also going to be set up, which is also going to ensure that the travel time gets reduced, that's for sure, but also the cost of traveling is significantly reduced, and it appeals to a large section of the people living in Mumbai. And the third point that I want to discuss over here specifically is about the congestion at the Chhatrapati Shivaji Airport. Now, it has been facing the toll of bearing the brunt of the population that Mumbai has for a really long time now. Do you think the development, the construction of a new airport in Navi Mumbai or any other part of Mumbai should have been expedited?
I think we want it, we have it, or we do not have it. It is inevitable to not having another airport in Mumbai is, it's as soon as we decide, it's better, because Delhi has faced similar, and I think by this year, May, June, the other airport, Noida, the Zurich airport would be, Xavier airport would be more than operational. The flight is scheduled to be. When we look at Mumbai, Mumbai has many other areas where it might not be in the same city, in the same vicinity, but it should be having a secondary airport. Then only a populated city like Mumbai will be able to take up a comfortable flight. You know, half of the Mumbai can go this side and half of other then can go this side. So
okay.
That's one.
Okay. Okay, all right. I'm out of time. I thank all of you for joining me on the telecast. And truly a remarkable structure that has been built that is only going to augment Mumbai's capacity on several fronts.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.